Welcome back to the Robert Timmons Show. Today, our guest is Maria Papacosta, who is a speaker manager of selected thought leaders and amazing speakers. She is the co-founder of MSC Marketing Bureau and works with senior executives, speakers, and celebrities as a presence and personal branding coach, helping them to bring forth their authentic leadership qualities and inspire their teams and audiences. Welcome to the show, Maria.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here with you. Thank you.
And where are you calling in from, Maria, today?
Okay, I'm in Athens, Greece. I know, I know. Everybody wants to come here for vacation. I know.
Well, I won't say that, but I do know it's absolutely gorgeous in the pictures that I see, from the cliffs to the oceans and to the history itself. It's
Oh,
just
yeah,
got to be just incredible. I think
it
everybody
is.
knows about the history. It's almost like the core of, just the beginning of stuff, beginning of the science, and a whole bunch of things are all going back into that direction. And then you got the goddesses of everything there too, right? Um, I think it's absolutely beautiful, and must be an honor just to kind of have that around you, surrounded in a creative manner. Now, our listeners, we want to kind of go back into how Maria became this speaker manager of elite keynote speakers, which is just powerful in itself when you say it. Where were you before, and how did you bring yourself into this world?
Okay. I think it was a series of coincidences, to be honest with you. It wasn't my dream or my vision back in my youth. Actually, I wanted to be a sociologist, and my first degree is in social policy and management. And then my family was like, "Oh, she's going to die, a poor woman. She's not going to make any money in her life." So they were nagging me and saying, "Okay, you have to do something around marketing." Okay, well, originally they wanted me to become a doctor, right? You know, it's a culture thing. You either become a doctor or you become a lawyer, but a sociologist, not really. So I took a minor in marketing, and I fell in love with marketing basically. And then I went on to have a master's in marketing. And believe it or not, I didn't want to take any course on services marketing, because I said, I'm going to be in product marketing. Who cares about services? So there you go. Um, and I never ever worked in product marketing, to be honest with you. It was always around services. At the beginning in technology firms, and then I entered the world of consulting, and that's where my life changed. So I was doing the marketing for a big consulting firm for the European region, and then I was also doing their international conferences, and that's how I came to meet speakers and speaker bureaus, and that's how I basically entered that world. So when I decided to leave and start up my first company, Hub Creations, one of the bureau owners approached me and said, "Hey, would you like to become our representative in the Greek region?" So I was young, I was innocent, I didn't know what was going on. So I said, "Yeah, why not? Let me try that as well." And I ended up representing that bureau in 20 countries, meeting a lot of
Wow.
speakers and things like that. Um, and then one thing led to another again. And I realized something, that no matter how well established a speaker was, no matter how, if they had a Nobel Prize or an Olympic gold medal or whatever, they all had two things in their mind, uh, two two main constraints. One was they needed reassurance. So whenever they would get off the stage, they would ask me, "How did I do? Was I okay?" I was like, "Oh my God, you are such a brilliant speaker. You are, whoever you are, and you're asking me if you were good enough." And number two, they were asking me, "What should I do to stand out from the crowd?"
Mm.
Ah, so that really intrigued me, and I took the a step further into founding MSC Marketing Bureau, which specifically deals with speakers, consultants, coaches, authors, that kind of group, to help them stand out from the crowd.
So
And
when they were giving you those two things that you found as patterns, what were you at first you're wondering, okay, why are they asking me? And before you even got to the point of actually setting up, what were you starting to say to them? Were you just cheering them on, patting them on the back, saying like, just kind of give them that, you got this, or what was
Well,
your kind of thing?
well, okay, picture this. I was very, very young and very, very innocent, but I'm a very honest person. So whatever comes into my mind, I will say it. Um, so no matter how great they were on stage, you can always spot things that, can take further development. They can be better. There is no such thing as perfect anyway. So I would always have something to say. And most of them, they would listen carefully and they would appreciate that honesty. Sometimes it hurts, but sometimes, if you take criticism and feedback constructively, it's very, very helpful. The problem with God is with feedback is that if you don't want feedback, don't ask for it.
Powerful, powerful. It's so
If I
true.
ask you, yeah, if I ask you for feedback, I must be ready to accept whatever it is you have to say and evaluate it into my mind. Otherwise, there's no point in asking for feedback.
But that's the thing. People do ask and they're hoping, they're expecting that you congratulate them, you cheer them up, you know, push them up higher. I guess that's a lot of to push their ego in a sense, right?
Mhm.
And not really asking for growth because
Yeah.
that's pretty much what you're giving them. You're like, hey, I seen a few things that you can actually deal with. And you're right, perfect. There is no perfect. And you don't want to be perfect because you do want that room to keep growing. You want to keep learning. Where can I improve? How can I, narrow things down? How can I get better? How can I speak my message faster, maybe at sometimes, right? Less words, less filler words, and start doing it in an amazing manner. Wow, that's pretty cool. That's really cool. So now you got your business going, right? So now you're working your way into how'd you start getting elite keynote speakers into your business?
Oh, right. Well, it's not that hard, to be honest,
Oh
because
wow.
I work a lot on referrals. So a client will refer me to another client, to another client. So I'm not a good salesperson, to be honest with you. That's my main flaw. I wish I was, but I'm not good with cold calling. Hey, this is who I am. This is what I do. No way. That's not me. So I'm very lucky because I work a lot with referrals. And lately, I'm trying to put my ideas forward, which is exactly what I suggest to new speakers. Take your ideas forward to the world. To the world. Um, being the world's best kept secret, it won't help you with anything.
Mm,
So, so far, so good with that strategy, I think.
wow. So that's impressive because you're in marketing, and marketing is about pushing things out to get
Yeah,
to
yeah.
get yourself going and moving. But you must be incredible to have referrals because referrals are they're hot leads in a sense. They're warm. They're trusting. There's there's a quality about that. So what do you think that you're doing with these clients that are giving you these referrals to these other amazing clients? Because that's huge. That's really important for people in business to get referrals because you don't have to work hard for them after. Like you just have to, they're pretty much there. They're wanting you more than you even knew that they wanted you. You know what I mean? They came and
Mm,
you're like, all right, let's set you up. Let's sign you up. Let's get you
mm.
moving. Let's, when's your next speaking gig? Is that kind of how it goes?
Well, I'll tell you my secret. If it's a secret, I don't know. Two things. You have to give out to the world. So the more you give, the more you get. And when I say give out your expertise, give out your knowledge, give out whatever you've got. So whoever approaches me and asks for my help, I just give my help. And that always comes back in one form or another.
Mm,
If I help you, you don't need to become my client, but you'll be so excited that I helped you that you will refer me to someone else who might become my client. And once I get to have a client, the trick is, there is this theory. It's called expectancy violence theory. I don't remember who coined the phrase, though, to be honest. But the trick is to overperform.
Mm.
So if we have a deal together to do specific things and I have specific targets that I need to meet, if I offer you something extra free of charge, then I'm overperforming and you're overexcited. And at the end of the day, it's not about a business transaction. If you see at your work as a business and as a business transaction, I think you will eventually fail. It's not about sales funnels and things like that. It's about who you work with. Are you compatible with one another? And do I want that person to succeed? Because if I want you to succeed, for example, if you are my client, oh, then oh my God, I'll do everything for you to succeed.
Mm.
And you'll receive that and you'll be extra happy and you'll refer me to other people. So it's not about it's not a business transaction. I think it's a human transaction. It's about helping each other. And if you treat business like that, it can only grow.
Absolutely. I have to agree with you on so many levels there because it's there's so much truth in that that in my case, I'm in the financial literacy area. So my objective is to help families build better futures, build their futures. And if I can help one family, they're going to refer me to another. And then they're going to refer me to another, meaning now I get to help more families because I'm given as much value and changing the course of their future generations by giving them that access to that knowledge that only the 1%, 2% of the world pretty much knew, right? And our objective also is to build leaders on top of that. So if I can build leaders, then that builds my business in a sense, right? Because I'm helping people, keep moving and doing the same thing. I'm duplicating. Providing value over value is something a lot of people think it will destroy them in a sense, right? They think
Yeah.
opposite to that. And I see that a lot in the workplace, amongst employees and sometimes employers and management and stuff. They're afraid to give up that extra value. They're afraid to put out, thinking that they're taking away their own job and that they won't have one. They're thinking lack in a sense. But I do see this in the marketing world because I have put my feet into the marketing world where people provide massive value at the upfront to get people into their funnels as you spoke about or into their business so then they can provide them more value because you're right, if you provide enough value to someone they're going to be like, oh my goodness, this person's amazing. They only charged me for this and they just provided another 50% more on top. I am so honored and gracious that I'm with this person that I'm going to tell everybody, you
Yeah.
got to see this person there. She goes out and beyond. So you do have something there, and that would absolutely bring you more referrals for sure. I can definitely see that, and that's within my world as well. And I think we need to share that stuff. People need to know, and when people see you like that, they see you as the authority in that area because they're like, "Wow, I can't even compete with what she's saying. She must know more."
Sounds good, yeah.
Right? That's their thought at the beginning. She must know more. I need to get with her. She needs to, be my person. But no, I think what you're sharing is amazing. So take us through, kind of like a day with a speaker. Like how do you go about, say you brought in a client. How do you go about getting them to the point and how long have you had your clients as well? You
All
know,
right. Well, as a speaker manager, I've worked with my clients for at least 2 years or so since the
wow.
company started. I've got the same clients since the beginning. Um, but as a coach, you know, the relationship is not ongoing. So I do a lot of strategy, fast track strategy courses with either respected speakers or speakers who are now entering this new world. Um, and it's fascinating because you know what? Everybody thinks that in order to succeed in the speakers world, they need to have a strong social media presence or they need to have an agent even. But they don't realize the true essence. They don't realize the two pillars that I call. One is self-awareness and two is your big idea. So with self-awareness, most speakers, they're having trouble realizing what their strengths and what their weaknesses are. So they either underestimate their powers because of their self-limiting beliefs and their insecurities. So I had this one guy who was telling me, I'm not strong enough, I'm not strong enough. So, oh my God, look what you've done in your life, all the achievements, and you're telling me that you're not strong enough? You're the strongest person I know. It's just a self-limiting belief that you're not strong enough, that it's holding you back. Get rid of it. Or they live in their own sort of bubble, in their own sort of world, thinking that they are the best in their field with innovative ideas that we've never heard before. And then they tell me their innovative idea, and I've got 100 books in my bookcase about that innovative idea. So that's a bit hard. How do you bring them down? Hey, Earth is calling you. Your idea is not that innovative. So self-awareness is pretty hard to work on, but it's the number one step if you want to move into this world. The big idea that I've mentioned is the second big thorn, if I may say so. Speakers are afraid to determine a micro niche. So they feel more secure if they say, I am an expert in teamwork, I am an expert in culture, I am an expert in communication, and I'm an expert in leadership. Well, yes, you are. Nobody's arguing that. But if you go out to the world and you present yourself as an expert in all these areas, you're not sending out any messages and you're just confusing your audience. But if you find a micro niche to start with, at least, and you define your message, very, very focused and very, very small, then that's how you start building a network of followers. By followers, I don't mean LinkedIn followers, I mean real followers that support you and get excited with what you have to share. And it's the way that human brain works. We need repetition, and we need to keep on hearing a message again and again and again till we believe that message. So if you don't form a micro niche, and if you don't have a big idea that you're repeating to the world and you're supporting that big idea, it's very, very difficult to stand out from the rest.
You put out a lot of great stuff there. Being someone who's in the marketing like yourself, niche is key because you do want to focus on an audience in order to sell your product or service. And you're right. When someone's speaking, no matter what it's about, you want to make sure that you're speaking to people that want to hear it, or you're just noise. And narrowing down to a niche as an artist was a tough thing at the beginning. Even as an artist, I like to draw, I like to paint, but it was like if I was just painting and drawing everything, then I wasn't really painting and drawing something that people could say, wow, I recognize you because of that. And that happened to me when I became artist for the ocean. I painted the voices of the ocean animals to bring advocacy and protection to these animals. And I built a massive global network because of it. And now I'm painting millionaires, these paintings behind me, and I'm starting to get recognized for that. And my objective as becoming a speaker myself is I'm constantly thinking of how I could pull this stuff in to speak to an audience. And I thought, the artists hold the keys to your wealth. That's kind of the direction I'm going. And the keys are visualization, imagination, dreaming, being able to create in your mind, paint with your choices and your thoughts to bring those wealth, those riches of whatever it is. It doesn't have to be money. It could be standing on a cliff in Greece, for an example, right? Or in one of your islands. But that I definitely agree with you because a niche is so important. If you really want to, like you say, start building, because you can't build when you're talking to a mountain of snow. You need to actually look for that snowball, for an example. I know it's a weird analogy, but narrow down to that one particular that you can find similar people of that same thought. But
Well, you have to build your tribe, don't you?
mhm.
Basically, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely, and that's really cool. So when you take a speaker on as a client, what are your key things? Like, what are they looking for? Are you bringing them? Are you setting them up at hotels? Are you setting, like, what exactly are you doing for these people
Okay.
outside of the coaching? I understand what coaching is,
Yeah.
especially with the self belief and everything that some people do need. Not just
Yeah.
speakers, a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, we bring on a whole team. It's not just me. So we do their marketing, we do their finances, we do their IT, and we do their what did I forget? Everything. It's a whole team of people working for them. So we design their websites, we maintain their websites, we handle their publicity, their exposure, their interviews, their articles. In many cases, we do proofreading and rewriting of things. We definitely read their books and try to enhance whatever they're trying to say. Because, we do try to maintain their authentic voice. We don't try to change people. That's not my purpose, at least. Everything has to be authentic, otherwise there's no use. And people spot fake so easily nowadays, so that it's not use to imitate or pretend something that you're not. But you need to guide the speakers to use a language that it's understandable by their audience, because some of them are, especially when you are dealing with thought leaders, the language they use, it's so hard and so difficult to understand that you have to round the edges a little bit.
Wow,
um,
that's pretty
and
cool.
yeah, we also do the administration and the business development part, which are not as exciting as all the rest, trying to find clients and getting on speaker bureaus and all these interesting things, but not as exciting or creative.
Well, that's more than I thought. So you're a business for them, pretty much. Like, you are. It's almost like they don't need to build a business; they come a part of you, and you are their business
Yeah,
because you're doing everything. Like, even
yeah,
you
more or
said, even the
less.
finances part. So you're making sure that they are good legally in every manner, and they're exposed. Wow, that's powerful. Wow, everything that you're doing is just blowing my mind. So, like, so what type of people, who are your favorite speakers that you're dealing with that
Ah,
people may
no.
know? No,
I can't say that.
well, you did
Well,
mention a few names. I'm
I
not your
did.
favorites. I'm not saying your favorites. I mean, maybe people that have been your client the longest.
Well,
Um,
all my clients are my favorites, because
yes, absolutely, absolutely.
you tend to fall in love with them. Otherwise, you know what? Um, my dad, he taught me a wonderful lesson when I was a kid, even though I didn't have any entrepreneurial concerns at the time. But he said to me, if you ever build your own business, you need to realize that not everybody that has a wallet in their pocket is supposed to be working with you. You need to be selective with whom you want to work. So it took me a few years to understand that. And I think he was very, very, very correct. We need to like each other, but above all, we need to be compatible with each other. Otherwise, there's no point. And at the end of the day, you need to enjoy what you're doing. So if you don't like the other person and you're not compatible with the other person, then oh my God, it's going to be a difficult, difficult life to live.
Yeah, I've
So
heard horror
I'm
stories
excited
about
with,
that.
oh yeah. So yes, personally, I'm very, very excited with all the speakers I'm working with. I can't differentiate between them. And I'm also very excited with all the clients that I work on a project basis. Because they are very interesting cases. We do this fast track strategy course. So you work with them for 8 or 9 hours only, and they develop their strategy, and then they move on to implement their strategy. And I'm so happy and excited when they drop me notes saying, oh, I did this and it worked out, and oh, I succeeded in that area, or look at what I've built. So that gives you a lot of pleasure and a lot of you feel pride. You say, oh, I've helped that guy. I've really helped that guy.
Oh, that
Yeah.
must feel good because first off, you are showing that you're compatible and that you guys have some sort of great companionship in business as business associates and partners in a sense. And to feel that love coming back, that what you're doing for them is actually they're implementing it and it's working. And that alone, that's coaching right there. And when
Yeah.
you're able to change someone's life, alter it in some manner, it is, in my eyes, the most rewarding thing that you hear and feel and see, that you really helped someone lift them up higher that they felt they couldn't do themselves. But you've shown them a way, you've shown them a path, you've shown them a blueprint, whatever it is, say, hey, try this, and boom, and it works. And it's that's you got something rewarding there for sure. Now, I interview a lot of speakers. That's all I do is interview speakers. And to have you on the show is incredible because you're someone who manages speakers. And I think it's such a good contrast to what I've been doing. I've interviewed over 20 speakers now, and every one of them has been incredible, doing their own thing. Even if it's, you say the word mindset, but they have their own interpretation of mindset, their own thoughts, and how they teach it, and the books that they've all written. And all these millionaires that I paint, I got to read their books as well because I need to do the research. I need to feel it. And then, like you say, I don't just paint anybody, right? Like, you don't take on anybody. I don't paint anybody just to paint them. They have to bring value to my life. So if I read their books, I listen to them, like Les Brown, like, who hasn't he brought value to, right? Like, the
Exactly.
guy's impressive. And Mel Robbins here, I got on the
Yeah.
other side, you know, they're people that are millionaires because of the value they put out. They
Yeah.
found their message, they found their tribe, they narrowed down their niche, they made things, move forward. So everything that you're saying, that you're doing, that you're helping, are bringing them to this area. They really are. It may, we don't know how many years it can take to get someone to wherever they need to go, but as long as they keep moving, they have people like yourself guiding them, they're going to get there. They're definitely going to get there if they know how to bring out that massive value and people are listening. So I noticed that you just started working with Tedx,
Oh, yes.
and just recently, right? Like just this
Yeah.
month.
Yeah.
So TEDx is something, every time I try and find my speakers to get on my show, people are always wanting to be on TEDx. It's become a calling for anybody. I want to be a speaker. I've never spoke, but I'm going to be on TEDx, right? That's kind of the direction that they go. They think TEDx is going to ramp them up even higher, which it may, absolutely. But and it's different though. TEDx is different than going out and speaking, because speaking could be 45 minutes, could be an hour, could be 2 hours, a 3-hour workshop. TEDx is 18 minutes, right? That's kind of the direction that they want to go. How are you? You're a curator and a speaker coach. How are you helping and coaching people in this position?
Well, coaching speakers for TED, it's not that hard, to be honest with you. As long as you know the guidelines and what you expect from them. The hard thing is, again, helping them shape their big idea and say something that comes from the heart and with originality. That's the difficult part. Because nowadays, I'm very surprised that everybody wants to talk about the same thing, which is very, very important. Everybody talks about, don't focus on the profits, focus on society, and we can do things in a better way. But this is a great message, don't get me wrong. And I wish everybody was thinking this way. But for a TED and for a speaker, they need to fine tune that a little bit more. They need to bring it down, and they need to be more practical. So that's where I help them with the coaching. And I think you can hear my dog whining all the time, and I apologize for that.
Oh, that's no problem. I absolutely love dogs. Lost our dog over here in California last year, which was a sad thing for me. So my dog, I
No.
understand what your dog, he wants to be loved right now.
Yeah, now I want to be next to you right now.
Yeah, poor guy. Well, that's cool because TEDx is something impressive. I've seen some amazing speakers on there. Some people have made their beginnings because they've gone on TEDx.
Yeah,
They've gotten like, I think it's Simon Sinek. He, got like
yeah,
millions of
yeah.
views and just exploded him around the world. I think even Mel Robbins, she kind of got on TEDx and boom, did her thing. And next thing you know, she was getting speaking engagements everywhere. On TEDx, I was told that you need to have written a book. Is that kind of like a prerequisite to get on there? No.
No,
Okay. So
no, not at
because
all.
I
No,
know in the
but you eat. Sorry.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you either need to have a great story to share with the world, a nice experience, something that happened to you or you've experienced, whether you are an athlete or a business professional, it doesn't matter. Or you need to have a big idea. You see that the TED motto is ideas worth spreading, and that's all it is. You don't need to
Mm,
have written a book to express your ideas to the world.
right. Okay. That's great to hear because you hear a lot of things. I haven't been on TEDx, but I am definitely someone who looks there at times when I need to hear some good information. Just to see because everybody, like I said, everybody shares differently, and because of that, not everybody can be a good teacher to everyone. So, like, I may be able to explain things to someone, but someone else may not hear what I'm saying, meaning I'm not the right person for them to learn from. We're all visual, audio, or some manner, actionable kind of way of learning. But yeah, TEDx is just an impressive platform for sure. So, what three tips could you share, that could help our listeners today, that may be upcoming speakers or veteran speakers,
Okay.
that want to learn, improve their presence and personal branding?
Okay. Number one, be true with themselves. Find out what they're good at, what are their weak spots and areas for development. Have a growth mindset. We need to keep on learning new things, no matter how great we are, and be authentic. They need to be authentic. They need to find their authentic voice, not imitating others. I've got people calling me and telling me, I want to be like Simon Sinek. I'm like, okay, of course you do. And I can even sound like him. I'm like, oh my God, you're not going anywhere. I get that a lot. um, so number one is to be authentic. Number two is to build their micro niche. Don't be afraid of building your micro niche. You can't be an expert in all areas. Find this one area that you want to focus in. And of course you'll be, good at other areas as well. But find this your micro niche, not even a niche. That's what I insist on saying, micro niche. And number three, get your ideas out to the world. There are speakers that are amazing. They've written books, but they don't communicate with the world. They don't give out interviews. They don't write articles anywhere. Get your ideas out to the world as much as possible, because if you want to become a successful speaker, people need to find out about you. They need to know that you exist. So they need to read you somewhere, to see a YouTube video at least. So get your messages out there as much as possible. But I'm just a small parenthesis. I'm against quantity. I'm in favor of quality. I'm not in favor of people posting things on LinkedIn every single day just for the quantity aspect of it. I know that Gary Vee says post as many things and it doesn't matter what. I know,
Like
I know,
60
I
things
know.
a day, he says, I believe.
Oh, I know, yes, but that's not my positioning. At least I prepare quality work. Practice makes perfect, and get your best self out there to the world. It's not about how many followers you've got, and it's not about how many likes you get. It's about how you want to change the world. What can you offer to others that you can make their lives better? And if you start treating um, others and yourself like that, then you will succeed no matter what.
No, those are key tips for sure. And, authenticity is one thing that if you can speak from the heart, you will grab more hearts in a sense. You will be speaking to other hearts, because I found that I started public speaking when I was, my art brings me into different journeys, and that's kind of how I want to speak about it, because of the visualization and the action and the emotion mixed to it created my passion that pushed me into a micro niche first off. And then, I became a public speaker. I started getting tools from that. I was giving a lot of art away. Like you said, you talked about giving. And then I became a public speaker from there by accident. And that changed my life. It literally changed my life. So I'm not the type of person that would write anything to speak on. I just get up and speak because it's in my heart.
Oh, good.
It's who I am. And if I cannot speak about it, then I won't speak about it, because then I'm, like you say, I'm not being authentic, and it's not working. No, I think I want to find out where can people find you on social media.
They can find me on LinkedIn. I think it's Maria N. Papacosta, and they can find me on Instagram, which is a latest attempt, pretty new on the Instagram world.
And what's your handle on Instagram?
Maria Papacosta. Oh, sounded very Greek.
Well, I want to thank you, Maria, for being on the show today, sharing amazing stuff on a different level of what we talk about on this show, where we stepped into someone who's actually managing a lot of speakers, and not just speakers, elite keynote speakers, which I think is pretty powerful in itself. And you're not just, you're doing it in such a level that would just blows my mind. You're doing everything. And that's what I wanted to learn today, and kind of find out, what does a speaker manager do? I thought it was just someone who actually would just, fly around with the person, make sure that they were set up, have a car ready for them, make sure that their lunch was ready, know when they're speaking, get them on the stage, have all that. But you're going actually more. You're like a plug-in business system for a speaker, which I'm sure helps someone greatly when they're ready for that level of action. And remember, guys, take in all the tips that she talks about. Be authentic. Know where, micro niche yourself down. Talk to your audience. Build your tribe, and get yourself out there. And like you said, it doesn't take much. Just start adding value to the people you want to add value to, and your tribe will come. And remember, every Thursday, we're going to have amazing people on the show like Maria, and who's going to share stuff that will just empower your lives and change it. Thank you very much, Maria, for being here.
My honor. Thank you so much. Ways of finding speakers. One is word of mouth. They will pick up the phone, call a friend, say, oh, you had a successful conference. Who did you have? Let's exchange some ideas. So if you're not an established speaker, word of mouth, comes as a second stage. Then they go on Google and they type and they say motivational speaker. So your SEO must be very, 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 very strong. But it's not just SEO, because on Google, they need to see pages with your name. So try and publish articles, interviews, give podcasts to other, not your own podcast, so that you fill in Google with your name as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And
I do have that, which is good. And if you search my name, you're going to see my artwork come up. And I have done interviews. I've been on live news. I've done, and I'm currently done 3 or 4 podcast interviews now.
Wonderful. Okay. And the third one is YouTube. But the problem with YouTube is they want to see you on stage. They want to see your body language and your stage presence. So whenever you get the chance to be on a stage, make sure you get a recording and make sure you put it on YouTube. But
See,
really, really, yeah.
I had a lot of that. I recorded everything I've done, but the latest one 5 years ago, where I spoke to over 300 people, there was a guy who was filming it, but because there was bad blood with someone else in that, he chose never to give
Oh
it or publish it. And I even asked him like the last year twice, and I said, "Hey, can you find something?"
no, oh
He's just
no,
not interested, because I
that's
really,
right.
really thought that that was something, especially wanting to get into the speaking industry, that would have been, I was dressed up nice. I was,
Yeah,
commanding. I was the keynote, really. I was the
yeah,
guy who ran the chapter
that's the
built
same.
and ran the chapter for 5 years. So
That's the same. Mm.
yeah, but that's okay. I know I'll do it again, and I'll build it and create it. But no, hey, I appreciate all that. Appreciate that a lot.
Yeah. Great. Wonderful.
Hey guys, thanks for sticking around. If you like more, click the videos right here. They're exactly what you need to see next. If you're new here, hit subscribe and become part of the community, and tell me what you think about the videos in the comments below. I read all of them every week, and join my Mind Power Mastery group by hitting the link in the description.